Sikada bala super minia pe. E baba o. Na fa o biro na nya kwatiro e mama. Baba e baba e. Yeah mama o mama. Na chama bubo na de tell e mama. E baba. Sikati papa. Mefani biro na ni no time yesero. Memba kwani benchi chechi champo mununke kase. Obisika wabrenye yesika finsika. Ebi sika da bala super minia baby oh no yo you know oh you know oh you know ebi so who are with them who chain apa hey baby oh na sika ni pa kwa ya me krona no say ya me krona say ensanya twani esene didi ai osu yo boafo na do osu yo babo no kwani wa hey baby oh na sika Oja ni wane mkwani wae Skanso ni edito Moja duro ye mama Mama e baba e Oja ni wane mkwani wae Skanso ni edito Moja duro ye mama Mama e baba e Ofa bewa mame di adio Gana di nani to Andro pasui Waye yo kwato Yenko yino Aba boy sebe ya Shakuko na nesio Ose Ensenye jumeni
Mema memreswa na meko so what I say 12 ball na epe mu say na say a political house show and a Big Brother G the my show metimi asoma metimi e dey bro from a certain time ye kobo one day ye betimi the dwumadi na kwakusi na nsem bia wo say what when it comes to political trending stories ekoso e wo ye krumo hanom no I will give you every bit of update no matter so amount an in-depth analysis so what I say memo in-depth analysis about nsem na metimi akeka ewo ahanom no na bibie timi akoyi di ama nti say afei na wetimi etuni wafidie no ediatoa ewo social media so on YouTube, on Facebook, your Tofia Kwa TV and also Time TV on Facebook. Pepacho bomodian say ubetimi subscribe di ama me na wa share na wagya comment ewo honom ehu hia me pa. What I say ehu hia me so ubegina so a nsem na me beka no ehu behia se wunua na otifia na se wunua no wo baabi no ono so ubetimi nye bi ne wa hwe. So what I say it is ubegina so a share mame comment like it. Make kind of comments ni na e comment section uja comment bi a make kind e ha e di amount na ma make sure say also so no me ji wadwenkyere na e di aye adwuma e show no so eti Sam Radio Tamuchuku e political house show and metimi e di e bro me din the Big Brother GH the maestro obetimi afra me maestro GH mejo so na bibia etimi akoye yes ote yen ka che according to Kakrabe Mwatase, eti afina UK flight na Abelandia, it's me abetina say be you man the ama Watase, tea and ejika crasada was say your sounds of banebe you menti. Obi bi oti and catch be and mestre say modi beche, and ye sebi any down according to beden a bampo free mona. I was say your coco ye jumana be me a kuyi. Enti and then a bit didn't come at say. I think a lot of things near Kosovo mining, but one of the biggest headlines are trending throughout last week, even to this particular week, you know, the death of Charles Kojo Fosu, that is Dati Lumba. Yes, Yankasa, yeah, high life legend, yeah, veteran musician. I would me pass away in 26 July 2025, you know. I think some stories, a lot of stories are able back from the camp of Charles Kojo Fosu Dati Lumba. I think there was I was saying the update kakra 8 de ba na edidi ho komo as to the reason why the entire won buy in some way see the happenings of Charles Kojo Fosu after say utimi ejaye mu koye no I was saying the ho semba na onso so utimi ehu bi na enye nim say Charles Kojo Fosu no he was one of the biggest musicians arguably see one of the greatest musicians of all time Ghana 4 to 1 now by popularity what I say almost say yes almost say Dati Lumba and the greatest musician of all time in Ghana, according to Star Babontin, any some kind of things are the music lovers Bontin Eka Edefa Charles Kojo Fosu. He is the greatest artist, and I said the greatest Ghana musician of all time. I made it home Komokaka at the amount, so what I say Ebusuanet Nase Echo Jubilee House Kushia President John Dramani Mahama. It's me set up the funeral arrangement and the funeral announcement. The Kwanye Busuan for before so edini 1 week now mutimi asanso a data e betimi am the state barrier e mine mono. I think so committee the president be the honsem e betimi aba abe domo na bibi etimi akoye. But then over the weekends and mutimi hold the vigil night, candle light edema Charles Kojo Fosu Dati Lumba. Independence Square and a lot of people in it me trooping in Independence Square etimi ekoshe and as me do almost so emwa ekota Charles Kojo Fosu the candlelight vigil night now moye man Independence Square no a lot of artists, a lot of icons netimi epm ewo ho yankasa your biggest rapper in Ghana Sarkodie etimi PM ewo ho Bolare etimi PM ewo ho Efia Odo a lot of musicians Nana Boromo any give to say mu nyina etimi PM ho almost kutro mo support Edema Charles Kojo Fosu management the redefining thing na omutimi eye Edema omono it was very good on that particular level intino you made the whole sem so ebetimi aba but then apart from that no I think say Kumasi Diana was some way the Charles Kojo Fosu no or metimi ashe date no ediaba date now mashe ediaba no 9th August 2025. That is this weekend here. Just go for Kumasi Vigil Night, no, and so bit me baso ewo Baba Sports Stadium. That is the Heroes Park. And the bit me Hodi. That's Candle Night, Vigil Night, Nediama. Charles Kojufosu ewo Honum. But then over these weekends, Enra, because who post be ewo social media. In fact, me who me share me kakra because I feel I said be your legend ewa. Ye did no home come here say bit me ye. No what na legacy now jano. Some of us will continue to preach about the legacy of Charles Kojufosu Daddy Lumba. Arguably, a big crampo a rating no air compare no with the likes of Michael Jackson on Winyan Baby Qua on also here. Pop star American band Munyan Baby Qua in Phoebe Chem. Some of us are comparing him to Michael Jackson, the modern mobile boy, when it comes to the global war stage, when it comes to music. Intimate sense, some no every management whole air banner. In fact, me shock here. Statement na drop here, a debate 10 minutes. And the management of that Luma, almost me could delete post no free almost social media handle. Me the whole details ebeba into time chuku na efama me na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and now also called Charles Kojufosu Fie. Etimi eko honano ati ase eko pay a tribute to the family no call no or their two jana so I can't say me their two just say I was say Charles Kojufosu your man of state barrier or say government esiki no omuhu say or a legend and a legacy now with me their two no I was say your man state barrier. Even last week parliament also call atanase eko general mine ho Mr. Daduluma na say Charles Kojufosu hun sem etimi bae. One MP sorry yet to no ekase and kebeya speaker engine tum na omuntimi and supporting ya much as Kojufosu a state befitting barrier na intimi mboana bibia intimi nkoye the general secretary of the New Patriotic Party and also the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress omienu etimi akomuti abom ascend the petition to the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, signifying the essence in Tia. It was said, Mr. Charles Kojufosu Yamano, that state befitting barrier no, Nabibia itimi ekuye. Yeah, the whole semba and the headlines no she say a dorsal pa ewahanon. But I think say in other news also no, Kumasi Accra Road na ayehun ewo kroma. Last week in the who say in Grandma Kumaku 15. In Granite wa last week, yetimi esi omo. Accident air koso ewo Accra Kumasi Road no anodin. The sun into no, I think say government, the Minister of Transport no, etimi a making sure say omitimi abede a good budget for the Kumasi Accra Road in the upcoming years and I say in the upcoming days. What say in the next 2 years today no, on be a massive development in some of the things that Elkoso Accra Kumasi Road. No, but the whole details about $1.7 billion BPM this particular contractor. A shall say the 2008 as a Sikano government Ekumono a hun sensem kakra honum. I was sending the whole details eba now also so utimi and so for now no. These are some of the things I ever did the home and common na area majewa gentre na betimi akan comment section or edi amount. It's in patcho safena we tuning in nasa or here live on Tofia Kwa TV, live on Time TV, making sure so betimi a share, subscribe if I'm me. Share, subscribe, the jaw comment if I'm na me read the comments no enfama come on na bibia 8 min ko ye enfama. But yen shall say free hanom. 26 July. Na ahomache. In fact, ahomache 4 a.m. Me sorry ya me ye nyema wo se me ye cause nipa bia de wo sorry wo se se be do ho hye Nyankopon sa na do Nyankopon ase. Me ye that morning routine we no be fun. The first message on the call X etimi pop by no is about rumors and ekoso. Say one of the biggest musicians in Ghana no when any baby call. As to the reason why at that time 4 a.m. 26 July na me metimi akase nipa so mesi say ene wo na minim. The rumors were trending. And Oko Exa na a trending number 1, but the said name na was say Ebano Amba. About 9 and upon 9 a.m. that same Saturday 26 July. And the rumors now me shall say 10 honka. That was 4 a.m. 26 July no. A shall say a poppy up eba. Say the biggest musician of all time. And arguably me believe said the biggest musician of all time in Ghana is Charles Kojufosu Daddy Lumba. when I got that particular message, 9 a.m. the call social media who say so training no, I needed to speak with some of the people that are working close to that Lumba management. I know Bosumulu Sean Kirsten to be a personal blogger for Charles Kojofosu. I know his man to be somehow a road manager for Charles Kojofosu. I know the side of Roman father to be a personal assistant to Charles Kojofosu. And I know Andy Dusty definitely to be also the personal DJ of Charles Kojofosu. Sam Crawford, I needed to consult them. Because in common some of the rumors you cannot come out and debunk some stories later on you will come and regret because of quite unfast debunking that particular stories social media. Say people will even see you say only accurate. And even some of the things a bit more quabont, as Crawford Krabeka say in seminar ya woten unye hwehwemu ansa no waba, because before say trust story media fa the biggest artist and also the greatest musician of all time in you need to have good source of that particular information. So first of all, I spoke with Bosumulu Sean Kingston. In fact, he was even shocked. So he needed to even make some calls about the camp of Charles Kojofosu. Also for a hitman. Or for a hitman, no. Hitman catcher they say, upon a show, or man sometime, or yet, or also checks, or you get it back to him. So he called me and told me, say, well, Fred Hitman supposedly to be the manager of Charles Kojofosu. And also any checks, or yeah, or befriend catcher. In fact, or friend your cancer, I needed to go back and even call Hitman and talk to him. Intimacy my friend, my friend 2 times one became a calls. So the third time I'm a friend, na baby ona did wo. No catch him so or get it back to me in few minutes time. So in about 2-3 minutes time, he got back to me or returning me call. And I asked him, say, what is happening? I'm hearing a lot of story about Charles Kojofosu, and then he has to give me that vivid information about our legend. And he told me, say, bro, currently baby I'm at TCCA, me wo bank hospital, wo cantonment, and in Komoda ebobo ban bro enye. Our papa is gone. In fact, me take that news no edi free hitman hono me yim shame. Now, right from say me confirm me from hitman no, I was checking because of say other people almost the creative arts industry has been to make me debunk that same story. As to say the demise of Charles Kojofosu is true or not. So I needed to wait. Media Hit FM at that time, and the Dusty, that particular lunch show no Hits FM on that very day, 26 July 2025. And we all know, say, countless years for the past 15 years and also for the past 10 years tembia rumors to me ba say ya papa adani bunkum so rumors to me ba say ya papa adani bunkum so and no about bonti abeka in sema e koso e defa no nyina enye no kre. So and those things supposedly the personal DJ of Charles Kojofosu also sat on Hits FM. Eddie Banke say rumors ni story bia e koso e defa Mr. Charles Kojofosu hu bia no e don so nye no kre. So I was like, information being about Monty. What's happening? Because I've spoken with his man, supposedly the personal manager of Mr. Charles Kojofosu. So he is telling me, say, our bank hospital, and currently as you speak, the man is gone. And the Dusty, honestly, a personal DJ, Charles Kojofosu, as one at na Hits FM, so I can say, rumors be a coso concerning Mr. Charles Kojofosu, who be honest, is wrong, and I say it's false. In fact, I had divided attention. So I called my brother Bosumulu back. I've heard this one saying this. My friend Hitman can say, so bro, story in the past and it's here. Also, say Andy Bekan's story say he is trying to calm people's nerves down. He knows say the man is gone. He knows say the man is gone. So me dem say, me change say approval, the former letter, and I said the former debunk of that particular story between my Barbonting. And for God being so good, me tell a story now. I wanted to drop it on my social media handle now. I needed to tread with this particular story cautiously because the little mistake that you do you find yourself in a lawsuit. The little mistake that you do with this particular story, so twisting a back of grandpa 1 year, you will find yourself in a court. It's me treading cautiously with this particular story, and I needed to have every bit of information about this particular story. The Kosi and say, oh, within 1 was it 1 p.m. right? 1 p.m. echo to 1:32, 2 p.m. Later part in 26 July afternoon. And the lawyers, the legal team, together with the management and the family, it released a full release. Say, our man, our daddy, the legendary, the veteran musician, the greatest musician of all time, is gone. He became formal. He became known for people to know, say, our daddy is gone. Then we have to take it on from there. Now, someone check a choir era and I say, Papa, Charles, could you for so far so free mona? To me, Obi and Dan, you know, because according to the management, he had a lot of programs and that done in him because 29th September any birthday, and they wanted to release an album. Now in 29th, from August to 29th of September, no, they will have Lumba Festival. Lumba Festival no, will be done to celebrate the legacy of Charles Kojo Fosu. So 29th September no be celebrating a birthday no, nanka wako retirement from music. But for you and those kind of programs, those kind of procedures, and those kind of festivities are the management of Charles Kojo Fosu Edigu Akwem no. Intimi are successful because of say owo kradia in kwase bi ontimenje until say omuja editor. This man had graced the period of our music in Ghana. As far back in 1964, 29 September, and then Papa Kojo Fosu and then Mami Amisa Ewono. So we check the history. 29 September 1964, I'm falling Monday, a falling was Tuesday. On one case on the grand din kwabna. But because of sending Mami ne Papa Ewono no, he was the only boy among the two sisters are no domuntem. It's ne papa no one no. Na papa no say ma wo be ma dia. I was say me de na ye den etumi ame ho. He needed to adopt that kwabna Kojo Fosu. But the business there be the papa kuntimi fa credit me no. It is a Kojo na de beto na fa Kojo na ato no. But Mr. Daddy Luma na say Mr. Charles Kojo Fosu. Odwan kasa 29 September 1964 a fall Tuesday. So on one case a friend of kwabna. But because of sending Papa de Kojo Fosu no, he needed to adopt that particular name. And on the tone. So Charles Kojo Fosu became his name. And on the tone, but early in his childhood, and then Papa Kojo Fosu free mo. I said to him, "Be ding at the man. Matter the suku wa mama mpunsuta no shase call ya." Right from that Oko Elementary School, it's me a pass the O level, no realm into the secondary school. Edu jemfi he ya no osanso ebaye. But owo edu jemfi na nyeme mu odin de ma no. It on one kasani teacher. And a friend who said say Osho. Or no, and then I said be Oshe Charles Kojo Fosu because he was very brilliant. He was very, very brilliant, and he was also sportive. When it comes to say for your shame in sports, say athleticism, young trumrika, young football, be beyond the shame. And at that particular moment in time, he was very, very, very handsome. It will be obeying Charles Kojo Fosu at that tender age beyond the Sebi. The need Jino per se Sebi Akrana Kasaban because he was very brilliant. So at the time, Mr. Oshono urged transferred year free Edu Jemfi Secondary School. I could job in secondary school. You know, see Debbie. I could that way on the name no henono. So no qua etna school Muhammad and Sebi Ebenia. I was so funded free jobbing. Sorry, I was so funded free Edu Jemfi Secondary School. No, then the canon edge transferred the Marco Dano. Now, ordinary me no kupim a job in secondary school. When he went there, the rest is history. The rest became history. A job in. He was part of the students. The job in secondary school. A use for debate. A use for quiz because he was very brilliant. He was very brilliant. As far back in 1985, as far back in the early 1980s, we were in the secondary school. At that time, I called job in secondary school. Some culture say when it comes to sporting reason, he was there. But then, because of say, I didn't know who should be in a course job in secondary school in Muntino. One time, the teacher back with Mrs. Ajman. Who say Akurano or Tunyum Kakra, and I say, Yamu Tunyuma or Dape Panis was what to be. The job in Queer Night was school Mohonomono. A brand is a child could you for who could do. He started singing, and everybody loved the voice of Charles Kojufosu, including Mrs. Ajimana, no Chenandie, a job in secondary school. So at that moment in time, and almost the Luma brothers at that time, it was made up of 3 guys and a girl. Yes, it didn't start and Charles was Germany, and Charles was job in school. He had that kind of vision. So even at the time when I was job in secondary school, so PF school monas or Babon, this is what he wanted to do with his life. Irrespective, say, or one case or a brilliant child, a school mono. This is what he wanted to do in life. But the other lady now no can. Supposedly, the lady secret admirer was Charles Kojufosu. He is Teresa Bebrese. But when him they see Teresa ni free. Sebi eskafofi. Etu obeskuwa Benz and the cars are kesini bisino. So it is very even difficult for you to even talk with Teresa because the whole affair. And then papa mo ne mama so na make sure say school na ne omoba ba na eba no. Omema teachers ni bia serve a secret agent as e bia say only Teresa ko kasa wan hwe ya waso betima ya hye e wo honom. It's no being to Teresa and kasa. But Teresa so hu Charles Kojufosu a abrantie and kona hono ho akona ne nim ti se tofe. Ne ho fe. It was a sebi also pe kwan bi so kasa no. But most at the moment no. Because the Charles Kojufosu is well known. No, the Huira Quay, jobbing Quay, a woman no, a kahun be on also Tonyo school more, or Silent Huira sports, a school more, or Tumrika boy or Hones no be any mono. But who say Obio school or then who shares a sandy, Yana man for person who say Sandy Pacrono or ya dear, in terms of academics, and answer on ya dear. So Mrs. Teresa Bebrese started doing research about Charles Kojufosu when they were in school. And realizing who say a brand now or any secret admirer no, is not only about football and athleticism. It's not only about say all Johnny Quinn or Otonium, but when it comes to academics, Charles Kojufosu was super and then he was brilliant. So one day they had an exercise and or rounds or G books ni free or administration block equal class by class order or the books equal class by class. Knowingly, he knew say Charles Kojufosu book count. He opened the half of that particular book and wrote or throw a letter to him say, "O person your best friend." What the shame. That was the story between Charles Kojufosu and Mrs. Teresa Bebrese. The rest is history. So as far back say Charles Kojufosu area job at that time no all to Kwandiako Germany no. Mrs. Teresa Bebrese was part of that particular journey. In fact, Kwaya Charles Kojufosu fast to Kwan even at the core Germany crampono. So what's your history now? Mrs. Teresa Bebrese the sika kakra crampo account. But when he got there, he had it in his mind say at that time, Boga High Life as sorry ever Germany. He wanted to become a musician. And at that time, Boga High Life, as sorry with Germany, a lot of people wanted to be part of that particular journey. Yonko Echikakra, in the early 1980s, there was a Ghanaian musician called Said Muhammad. There was a particular musician, a high life musician called Said Muhammad. He was living at Germany. And at that time, no Sir Branton star a chance a man Boga High Life, Boga High Life. And Sana Charles Kojufosu na champion propagated the gospel of Boga High Life at that time. He was fusing the local high life and then blending reggae with our common high life and ye wukrumano no. I don't know this Germany so on no dia no why na adwen say urban into mainstream and as a full-time music business. But then when it comes to live band and that things and what Germany are no pa. Na the champion so live band or Germany pa. But when they got there, when Charles Kojo got to Germany. Fortunately for him, he was living in the same apartment with Nana Champon. They have to meet. No one show music journey nase. They named their brand as Lumba Brothers. The rest is history. 1989, the first album of the Lumba Brothers to me released was Meyaka Kwentum. The rest became history for them. And in common aid, I'm even emotional because we are talking about one particular musician now. Over the last 3 decades, he has been part of Ghana music, and then he has been able to lift Ghana music to that particular level. Boga High Life na America. There was a producer called Bodo Stega. Bodo Stega fused the high life together with the reggae, and blending me in your rhythm. Boga High Life Europe, because at that time reggae penetrated in Europe, and a lot of genre of music are penetrated here. People wanted to find their real form of music, and Ghana High Life no honum dada. But then it took Bodo Stega, the main producer of that Lumba and Nana Champion, other Boga High Life artists and called Germany. It took him to blend the tune that was High Life and even reggae for it to sound like Boga High Life. No penetrate here or Germany. The rest is history. And then Papa Nasam na America with your legacy honum. What I say with your legacy honum. Irrespective, say 2008, Otimi Emma massive campaign song for the NPP. Emma NPP, Oduma and another Danko Kufuor went to me and even in power now. Irrespective of that particular 10 or year, and even in 2016, or so a year remix of that song, the man another Danko Kufuor, Emma power now. Irrespective of that, Obiado Lumba. Lumba will have its own or no one negative side here, but the majority of Ghanaians, because of the songs that he has been giving to Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians to Charles Kojo, including big men and big people in our country. Yes, you don't know what ABN and you met me here with the street and I say in the society, but majority of it has been positive towards Charles Kojo. Now, in some of the band, I say, when you see here in 26 July, 2025, the family came together, needed to have good thing a bit in Yabua, ama, so mu see Mr. Charles Kojo for so be bit me akoyi, and I say, meet me see the camera. Na ye, any legacy, no, any etimia benya. A tibusiane community boom together with the management of that Lumba. Eyo imagine so Omo Court Jubilee House Aqua Committee. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na bibia etimia koye, because before that that government intimi and communicate here say yebema Charles Kojo Fosu state befitting barrier and answer omonfa emma no don't intimi communicate. So the family of Charles Kojo Fosu needed to collaborate with the management of that Lumba, and then also call the Jubilee House a committee, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama committee, the conversation, the course, Mr. John Dramani Mahama was happy to receive, both the family and even the management of that Lumba and other creative art people or more industry. He was very happy to, to receive them, and also the thought sharing a tribute to Mr. Charles Kojo Fosu every day, that particular kind of promise. And my family, they say whatever that it is, we'll be making sure say the barrier of Charles Kojo Fosu will be a befitting state barrier on obetim the Ama family. And you one, I'm becoming former to the people of Ghana, because some committee president our Jubilee House na say in same see akoso I was making it known to the public. Na public no so ehu say na aban no ewo nhyehyeye aban no wo edema family, because some majority of Ghanaians that notion is say because of say or have a campaign song edema the NPP didn't know ebia the NDC or mobile government in power no omo betimi eja family no ejeje mu omo sa adwene wo Ghana fo ni bitrim. So Mr. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, and Commander Nyomudi, and the Ghanaians wanted to know the details of that particular information, and they wanted to know, as the reason say, Yabema Charles Kojo Fosu a befitting barrier, and as a man a befitting barrier, no, they wanted to know. But a year former enfam bad here, but Enra Yenke bin shame. Over last week, the former president, that's His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Etimia Kofi Akwachi Ebusuya, even Ashe Ebusuya Bo. se ebusuya earth na se aye eye no huntoto ya e was so no the former president of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. E was some of friend no betina mu bi na otimi e de na adwen ebo ebusuya na omutimi eye ne kama edema Charles Kojufosu videos a twegu e we screen so Tofia Kwa TV and Time TV no you could easily see say time Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ete wono no se bi na soon or not aye soon ayare ho, because this is the man at 2008 he gave this man one of the biggest campaign songs ever to hit in the history of Ghana. No campaign song and a such campaign song Charles Kojufosu that Lumba Edema and Danko Akufo-Addo in 2008 election. Even in 2016, that same song conjured magic to win power for the New Patriotic Party. So I felt for His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo at the time I okofio na oni ebusuan edidi nkomo na okai nkomo na okai the relationship eda oni Charles Kojufosu intem tim say no I emotional na sebi na esun na ato I mean the former president na osun na osun but ono koye no anche and then also the former vice president of the Republic of Ghana Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia over the weekends also etimi kosra Mr. Charles Kojufosu ebusuan also pay the tribute to the family of Mr. Charles Kojufosu. Now also the two family name say the legacy now that Lumba etimi eja to no or besre aban a otia konyaso that is, which is being headed by Mr. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Also the better many say I was say omutimima that Lumba a state befitting barrier. Until you see Nana Danko Akufo-Addo even recommend state befitting barrier. The family are called Ekosiki state befitting barrier, and even the former vice president, that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, even put Esiki say almost so no yebema that Lumba a state befitting barrier. Na bibia etimi akoye ediama ebusuan. So currently as we speak, dear in common air kosono obia hopi said the government, which is headed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, would actually make a formal release na ometimi dia babontin say government besom na ometimi eja that the Lumba ewo kwan fefe so na bibia etimi akoye. Honorable Kennedy Japan on also definitely on also betima contested the race for the NPP flag bearer. But also consider busuya omunye siki say yema yenua anase yema ye papa Charles Kojufosu a state befitting barrier obia siki see man state befitting barrier ewo ehonom enye asem keto akra enye asem keto akra ewo honom nti say afina watuni na we live on Tofia Kwa TV, Time TV, like it, share na jaw comment ewo ho efama me kan na media ma we a political hot show and the show no me dedicate ediama Mr. Charles Kojufosu Daddy Lumba na bibia timi akoye because he is the greatest musician of all time. You can argue with your key parts. You can argue with your key parts. Hey, I've started this comparison with Daddy Lumba and Michael Jackson. Sa comparison no. Actually, sa comparison ne beba. Yes, yeah, it was southern part of Ghana and especially the central. And I say the Ashanti region there. We want even the state befitting barrier to be done in Ashanti region. And we want to show the whole world say Charles Kojufosu is from Ashanti region. He is an Asante of Mampunsuta, and we want to have a good funeral for Charles Kojufosu. And Komona but majority of Ghanaians wants one district, one funeral for Charles Kojufosu. Over the weekends, the 1 week, so we check it pub say wo krumwa, and I say pub say wo Ghana ha. Ekekako almost 50,000 pubs in the Ghana hanum. Pub bia emeki candlelight vigil at the Charles Kojufosu. Yes. Celebrating the 1 week. Being can create they have a certain pub over there called Unique Pub. Omo hodi a 1 week celebration for Charles Kojufosu. Ko high live band. Bisi ho bonyum bo Charles Kojufosu and yum throughout. Making sure say ombe have that kind of thing or Ediama Charles Kojufosu. So it tells you say Ghanaians wants a state befitting barrier for for the legendary Daddy Lumba. Ghanaians nankasa so sounds to believe say Daddy Lumba won it it should be one district, one funeral. One district, one funeral. How many districts that we have in our country? We have so many districts in our country. And to imagine, so almost 270 districts. No, one district be a make funeral for Daddy Lumumba. Imagine how big that this funeral will become. And I mean, the demise of Charles Kojo at least left Ghana on the map. BBC 40 I reported said Ghana is mourning the biggest musician of all time in their country. A lot of things air koso when you go to Apple Music Store, I mean Spotify, then yom in pim domain room in the top 100. In pim domino, room in the top 100. That lumanium pim domino. I'm repeating it in the Apple iStore. Then you meet me room in the top 100 room. When it comes to King Charles, and you might so on iTunes that same song etimi sounds a room a top that first top 10. It tells you say the legacy of Charles Kojo Fosu Daddy Lumumba is still working and is still creating magic even after his demise. But make us say muishro. So obi a legend na se o free mo a. Sometime no free ni hu ni mu a edru no. People were worshiping Michael Jackson, but then his legacy began when he died. Michael Jackson legacy nankasano to me. In that time I know it's in a chance you, but then a chance at the time of ye. Bob Marley, he had a good legacy when he was alive, but the Bob Marley legacy is still alive. Lucky Dube had a good legacy when he was alive. But people were praising, people were preaching, people were playing his songs. That is a good legacy. Marcus Garvey, he had a good legacy. But when he died, the legacy etnase and egusua etnase. And I say egusua eye in Yuma ewokrumanum. We have a lot of musicians, we have a lot of celebrities, we have a lot of icons in our country. That after they died, Martin Luther King, popular in America, popular activist, but what's no now man for be name fans but and a lot of people who say the man has left a good legacy for the people of America. That Lumumba was well celebrated because main kind cramp 2010 the whole Ghana celebrating in front of the former president Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings and John Ajekum Kufuor. Celebrating man that kind of award medal it was full of 24 karat of gold in the two Charles Kojo Fosu. I think it was celebrated in 2009 or 2010. We celebrated him heavily in Ghana, but the legacy nankasana shase at the time otimi edani benkum so on 26 July 2025. The legacy still continues. But over the weekends, Soko Independence Square now Henry calls Independence Square. I think it was very, very emotional. Seeing thousands of people trooping into Independence Square to celebrate the candlelight vigil night for Mr. Charles Kojo Fosu tells you how people loved the man. Tells you how popular the man was in Ghana. Because I'm sure the number of people that call him now, it was even it turned to even become a concert. In 10 years, OBSA candlelight vigil night, the Amach Charles Kojo Fosu no. It turned out to become a concert, a big concert at the Independence Square. Because the head crowd near call, number how that Luma management, it's me organizing events, and making sure and it does the big cheer. I mean the people up over there. It was very massive. This is what the creative arts stands for. This is what the creative arts stands for. What I say, but in common media, look at the number of people who are trooping in Edia Community. Currently, as you speak, I'm yet to see, and tell me wrong, someone should come into the comment section and correct me. I'm yet to see a particular statue and a particular artifact. Bia, yes, CDSCO. Said this one day is celebrating your musical icons in Ghana because over the past years we've lost so many high life musicians in our country. Pabobu Eko. Mention them. A lot of high life musicians in Ephraim Edeko Kofi Biko. Dasibre Jamnako. Daddy Lumako. Recently, Dada Kadian Soko. Nana Mpedu nso kɔ Nana Mpedu krampo de aguably say ye pe obi o won yom pan wo krom hanoma e Nana Mpedu. How many of us know very well say Nana Mpedu in some years ago, one of the biggest universities in USA, he was awarded the Stratocaster Award. How many of us know about this particular story? Do you know the Stratocaster Award? We don't even know. His music is being studied in one of the universities in USA. Look at the legacy of Nana Mpedu Jao Krum Hanom. And I'm here to see one particular tourist site at CDSC said these musicians are a John Baby Kono. Omo legacy mu jato to hono no ye de kogu that kind of museum or ye create museum be ye de omo legacy ne be kwa kogo the next generation in Shima no mbeba no they will learn something about these musicians. I'm here to see that kind of museum a mine no ebesiesi wo ye they are celebrating this kind of musical icons and the Hall of Fame cry ni bi Senka Nana Mpedu legacy obejade to hono no nke be induct the legacy they call the Hall of Fame. Ni are celebrating Nana Mpedu on that. There be the legacy Nana Mpedu ejatu ho nyina ene akoda bi over 17 years, akoda bi over 18 years. When even you ask him, say, do you know Nana Mpedu? Beka to say minim no. Because some generation no more bano, they don't know much about high life music. So it is up to us. It is up to the government. It is up to the creative art industry to have a good transitional period of generations. Said the high life music na eye yankasa ye de na ye de kwa abonte ma manfo pe no encrophobia na chance here we had some people who started the project of high life music in Ghana. Pabobo mu Dr. Pabobo ewu. I'm here to see the legacy of Dr. Pabobo. Alex 1,000 wo munyina ewu Ampofo J of Mampon o munyina ewu. I'm here to see the legacy. Ampofo J Krampo di onu aneba. It is there be all money papa jumo ye okruman enra. I've forgotten the name. I think Ampofo J Jr. He works at Adom FM or Adom TV. Yeah. He works over the multimedia no ye juma. He told me they were sonny papa legacy ni mu ye. E no di ye juma. Nanwa J Adolfo. Eko Charles Kojo for Sufie so could pay tribute to the family. Me whom man is a man wa emre. J Adolfo also a co-program and what say Charles Kojo for Swefrim. It was a free program na abedru Ghana e was so babet share busuafo. Me whom man utim say nanti e krampo se bi e hwan e den kakra e de ma J Adolfo. But ye bet now one man newu. We won't celebrate that man. But ye bet now J Adolfo share so obonyo, we share so obo high life in Ghana. In the 1970s. 1970s and share so obonyo mo krumanum. But how many of us even putting in him the legacy of J Adolfo? So the government, the creative arts, no, these are some of the things it was some way at the tour. Oba Kuma say your cultural center waha. We have cultural center. It is reserved for historical things in our country. A Kamube build something over there at cultural center, and then you will use cultural center to even have some of these musical icons and some of these legends that we have in our country, both in music and both in movies. And Obi we are not called. Obi we are not called. I mean, the legacy is Wakata. You can't be him. But Charles Kojo for so dear. With a drag Ghana for the don, with how well he is popular in Ghana. Even if the government fails to build a museum to celebrate these musical icons, to celebrate these legends that we have in our country, the legacy of that Lumba will never erase in the history books of our music. It's a fact. Whether we like it or not, the government do crumple and see anything on these legends now boom mudina. It will be very difficult for us to even neglect the legacy of Charles Kojo Fosu. How many of us Kofi B will last 2-3 years? How many of us now remember the and apart from the new radio, how many of us now remember the legacy? How many of us dedicate the crampo in the cramp? How many of us and the Yadrian Krakos in to be him? No. Because here near somehow we don't think about these legends when they are alive. But Omuwuni is your one, that is all. Omo legacy in the call. And then when you go to Nigeria, Afrobeat has become an eminent genre of music in the world stage. But Afrobeat, no, a crewman, Niger for the foul how Fela Kuti in a bar crewman, a bar Cape Coast, a besunya high life music in the early 1960s. Or before the core, name my Nigeria. Where Timia Kwakoye Afrobeat since 1970s, 1980s, he was doing Afrobeat. Now we've had a lot of generation. Oma preserved that kind of culture. Nigerians were able to maintain the Afrobeat culture in Nigeria. And this generation of musicians, no more boy, the likes of the Wizkids, the likes of the Davidos, the likes of Burna Boy, projecting Afrobeat. Currently, as we speak, Afrobeat has become a well-known genre of music from Africa, but in free Ghana, in free Nigeria. Grammy, it's now making a top spot for Afrobeat in their nomination, categories. It tells you how well Nigeria Fatima propagated the gospel of Afrobeat. But you can't Afrobeat asema. Omu de senya bebo nipa baako pedin. That is Fela Kuti. A onu so ewu. So Fela Kuti ewu, but the legacy of Fela Kuti no is even popular. Listen to this particular thing very well. The legacy of Fela Kuti is even more popular than our high life that we are doing in our country, all because of say the government, the creative arts industry that we have in our Ghana now have failed woefully to protect the legacy that we have. They failed woefully to protect the legacy that we have in our country. But just kojo fusu die legacy na we jadi ato no MP pada. I'm telling you, and see, it's a fact. It's a fact. The legacy that we just are in our Ghana music, there is no way. 30 years in music, about 33 albums, 500 unreleased songs, 200 commercial songs, and you want to tell me, say, the legacy of this particular man will be left out? There be the album Bia Charles Kojo Fusu 8 release year since the 1980s. Eddie Babesi, 2018, 2019. All of these albums, it was popular. His songs, by trainer also. 3 gospel albums, and you want to tell me this legacy will be eroded? No. Into me, ain't eroded this kind of legacy just like that. So the government, I'm pleading with the government, build a state art museum. A state art museum, the best celebrity musicians, the best celebrity actors, legendary actors, veteran actors, comedians that started this job, media men. Yen celebrate omo, yen preserve omo legacy. One of the biggest broadcasters, Amini, Nameshano, was Tommy Annan Forsen. The man just celebrated 70 years of his birthday. Oshaman ni dia, utimbu say, man no, wahemre. But you better not Tommy Annan Forsen, Ephraim. He was a broadcaster. He started this. But the legacy of that man, how many of us in him said this man can even transfer some knowledge from to this old generation? It's young corner simple and yakosiki bibi the free no. But chairman, abrofona who almost they see every legend as an institution of its own. They see every legend as an institution of its own. To the moment now, they ain't penny for now. You who omono, omu free mun ko kakra. Na to for ko AB Cranes ko CK man ko na omu ko kakra. Omu ko kakra o. Ye jomu ha mo ko kakra. But we are not doing anything to secure the legacy. We are not doing anything to secure their legacy. Asamna se me ya emotional kakra. Charles Kojo Fosu nyame fa honsie ye. Enkomo bi betima drop your family no ho ene ye no hye bia no. Se metena so political horse show a be de ho nkomo no ebetimi abro na bibia etimi akoye. But now no yenka bi nhye. Yenka bi nhye. And accident kese etimi si wo my name. Na accident na see no a lot of people eka ho asem say adent na accident kese sa etimi si na ekwan na accident this see was no it is not strange to me. It is normal because a lot of accident has been happening in this particular road. I'm talking about Accra Kumasi road. most of us no ehun say that one way sided road na etie no kayem biem na two dual carriage road, not two cars. I mean obi anfa ne baby a car bi ntimi miti. The car sign same way the bia. But yes still the government NT na sa enkomo no eba so no. Ena the Minister of Transport etimi ekodi enkomo kakra ewo ho. Na enkomo okodi ye no Mr. Joseph Bukari Nekpe ekodi enkomo Mr. Nekpe ekodi enkomo kakra. Na also no one of his dreams to build Kumasi Accra Road as a transport minister. Also one is Excellency John Dramani Mahama di nkomo. Na nkomo na one John Dramani Mahama di ye no. John Dramani Mahama wants to make sure say on go back to the two normal dual carriage roads no, but then on no person or yet another road but emfa konongo mainstream ebefa konongo echi inten ye sa road na the government of the NEC person more construct the new Accra Kumasi road no almost ebefa konongo echi, but then it will be 3 lanes. So at a time 3 cars enam ha na another 3 cars and so nam the baby are in share. San utnemu a within the span of like 2 hours we me draw across the CA. San common na ekoso. So Joseph Nekpe edim komo say in fact or taste that accident they see last week and nipa 15 ewu ye no. Na eye na ya. But in common say from 2008 ye from 2008 His Excellency John Najekum Kufuor etimi emeki a budget for the Accra Kumasi Road. And Sike Ekomu was 1.7 billion US dollars. Omoye massive research about that particular budget no. The ekosi yan says can baby says it can fire no. So if the government even crumble betimi aye another construction government will need 1.7 billion dollars and also mining. So I'm asking say currently 1.7 billion dollars na fa baby ye hu baby e fa e omo sha ase no edru nkoko no bogie mu e ma ne si ho ye hu baby a that 2 dual carriage roads no e fa e. So the government be here another 1.7 billion dollars e dia construct Accra Kumasi Road ebe fa 2 cars at a time a obi a be fa ne baby a government so wonya 1.7 billion dollars no, but the government be nya over 1.7 billion dollars to construct another 3 lanes roads from Accra Kumasi Road. I am in Nakakra. Asemino, Betty, no, I am in Nakakra because I don't understand. This is a particular road that are claiming lives of innocent people. I say being common we. I say being common we. But asemina reho na asemina ye disi ya na o say disi asemina ye disi ya na o say disi dan watch metna say believe you in suspense watch na metna say na metna say a be de munchire mu beba be breaking it down $1.7 billion. Be breaking it down with the new budget of John Dramani Mahama. Be breaking it down with the new budget. It's actually John Najekum Kufuor the remu in that 2 dual carriage roads. No, be a bit me the akoye. But for now, no, we do see. Yes, we do see. We produce our brand the first 7 to us. 7 to us was. Me do BCR. Yes, me do BCR. Yeah, me do BCR. It's number watching no. Number watching me the breakdown, the proper breakdown bit me dia bro. Proper breakdown no. Bet me dia bro. Yes, me the breakdown $1.7 billion. The contractors are almost a ekosha the company name, the contract company name or construction company almost a ekosha the contract and I say the contractor engineer no was what say adwuma no. But the who details, me who near me in our hanum. But me rain into no. I was saying me this me producer prompted me. Say me I come just 3 minutes. It means me find that credit card analysis no. I was saying me this Yes, me producer Abrantepa your success. Or prompting me say every time into me to be fine just analysis. And can be go into details because I don't see the reason why a government say $1.7 billion. Won't me find yet that kind of renovation as a redevelopment of the Accra Kumasi road. Also we need sika, but government say we sika or they be constructed additional 3 lanes from the Accra Kumasi road. What shall be the munche mubeba? With the munche mubeba. Na fatu trim say any government be announcing new cocoa prices. New cocoa price. Un say first no. You run another cocoa for the mobile di yakunya no. Nanka the normal trend that nanka itimide a top cocoa season no, was October. Obedi yakunya no free October at the bar August because outside of the bar September. Or the bar September no, he wanted cocoa farmers to have their money at immediate cost because next year October no say cocoa farmers need to obu cocoa see na so mo hata na cocoa cratch for no so na metri air to the sea. It's a government be the normal cocoa sales na cocoa cratch for nya hu sika bebre mo nya hu fa so say bim na na cocoa for the buy no or trade from October at the bar September eti ahono ekuvre mu anko yi afama cocoa cratch for no so Samuel me no ka say die ene John Dramani Mahama in one of his manifestos he said say the normal cocoa price per bag no or no bet double no 2 times. So I'm yet to see the new cocoa price a bit in yaba. Says our cocoa price me drop it and na. Watch na. Tamuchuku. Be the mu breakdown in yano. A bit me abro na bibia. Etimi akoye ediaba. For now, you are live on Tofiakwa TV, Time TV. Abrantepa your success ne bomechi dom pictures ne roli wo. If you didn't know so you are Abrantepa your success, yes. The international producer, the international social media manager. Only to me a year a jumani nyina edema. Me amedi jumadi we hu chairman no. Ye friend me Big Brother GH the Maestro. Share me 3 p.m. our Fache Sports. Yes, share me 3 p.m. our Fache Sports. Na gifted icons and so competition so koso. O favorite contestants no mu no. O favorite contestants no. Make sure say obetimi nyomu code no vote na ode amomo. Vote na famomo. One vote your favorite contestant no. You be in a frame na assembly na asem call. You be in a frame. You in a frame man when you so at will say why. Your friend Big Brother G the Maestro a political house show and I'm the bro. Nyam watch na same time. Nyam watch na but that same hot trends. E better also Eddie Abba Abeboao. A higher Tofiakwa TV, a higher Time TV. Nyam watch na ebishia. Shawon su ye Macau.